The triple team. Kyle Filipowski scores 20, but Jazz fall to Clippers in overtime. 3 takeaways from the Utah Jazz's 120-116 overtime loss to the Clippers. By Andy Larson. 1. Kyle Filipowski shines in a career-best performance. With Walker Kessler sidelined due to a thumb sprain, Kyle Filipowski stepped into the starting lineup and delivered his best NBA performance to date, posting 20 points on 8 of 12 shooting, along with 10 rebounds in 37 minutes before fouling out in overtime. A defining stretch came at the start of the second half, when the Jazz capitalized on the Clippers' lack of defensive attention on Filipowski. Sensing an opportunity, Utah ran the offense through him at the top of the arc, allowing him to exploit mismatches and score on 3 consecutive possessions. Moving forward, opponents will undoubtedly adjust their defensive approach, but Filipowski's ability to handle the ball and score from the perimeter presents an intriguing 5-out option for Utah. That level of flexibility is a hallmark of Clippers head coach Ty Lue, who frequently deploys perimeter-heavy lineups while still utilizing a traditional big like Ivica Zubac. If Filipowski can continue developing this skill set, he could become a valuable rotation piece for Utah, especially as a second-round pick. 2. Lauri Markkanen's impact beyond the box score. Markkanen's numbers are down this season, but the Jazz aren't concerned. They've intentionally put him in more difficult situations to test and expand his game. While the results haven't fully materialized yet, the long-term approach suggests they're willing to be patient. A couple of key stats highlight just how challenging Markkanen's shot diet has been. He leads the NBA in catch-and-shoot attempts 8.1 per game, ahead of sharpshooters like Brandon Miller, Malik Beasley, Victor Wembanyama, and Klay Thompson, all of whom have elite playmakers setting them up. Markkanen, by contrast, doesn't have a premier facilitator creating easier looks for him. The Jazz's transition offense thrives when he's on the floor. When Utah forces a steal, their chances of turning it into a fast break increase by 11% when Markkanen is in the lineup. On those plays, the Jazz also post a +1.8 net rating. Despite a statistical drop-off, Markkanen remains a high-impact player whose unique blend of size, mobility, and shooting continues to provide Utah with offensive versatility. 3. The subtle science of strategic losing. The Jazz nearly pulled off an upset against the Clippers, despite likely aiming for a more comfortable loss. With Walker Kessler and Colin Sexton out, Utah came within inches of victory, pushing the game to overtime despite being 9-point underdogs. So, should they have leaned further into the tanking strategy? Current projections from Dunks and Threes and Basketball Reference forecast the Jazz finishing with 23-59 and 22-60 records, respectively. That places them third in the lottery standings, securing the best possible odds for Cooper Flagg and other top prospects. But what if they really wanted to lock in a bottom 3 finish? That would mean dropping below 20 wins, requiring a 21% win rate for the remainder of the season. Based on win probability models, Utah would need to increase their margin of defeat, which means sitting more key players. For instance, consider tonight's game. As a 9-point underdog, Utah had a 28% chance of winning. To drop that to 21%, they would need to increase the spread to 12 points. Sitting Lauri Markkanen, a +2.9 player per 100 possessions, and replacing him with Micah Potter -2.9 per 100 possessions would swing the expected point margin by 3.5 points, pushing the spread into ideal tanking territory. Somewhere in the Jazz's front office analytics department, you can imagine someone making these cold, calculated decisions. Looking ahead, against OKC, the Jazz are projected to lose by 15 points, win probability, 17%. No need to sit extra players. Against Houston, they're only 5-point underdogs, win probability, 35%. Time to bench Markkanen, Kessler, and Collins. The analytics revolution has helped elite teams win championships, but it's also helping bottom-tier teams optimize their losses for lottery positioning. Insert devilish grin emoji here.